bunker. Yeah, this the bunker. This the bunker. Welcome to the bunker. This the bunker. Yeah, this the bunker. This the bunker. Good people, what's up? Let's go. Listen, happy Wednesday. We are live. We're in the Breakthrough Bunker where we turn obstacles into stepping stones and dreams into reality. I'm your host, Murph, aka Mr. Motivation. I'm flat out excited. Our guest today, man, diva, L.I. diva at that. We're going to get some gems, and I'm excited, especially those that's in the healthcare space. A lot of young women interested in going into, nursing profession. Actually, let me hold that. Let me hold off on that before we get there. But stay tuned. Let's go into 3, 2, 1 with Murph, man. You know how we get it started. 3 thoughts I have, 2 quotes, and 1 question or prompt for you. Thought number 1, confidence is built through consistency. Usually when I do my shows or my talks, I say there's the 4 C's. You got to get started, right? You got to commit to get started. You got to be consistent. You got to be committed to that thing, and you got to complete whatever you started, right? 2, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And I'd add in there your systems. Systems are important. I just took on a new venture, and I was talking with my leadership team, and I told them, it's really important that we establish dope systems, because that's going to be the foundation for which we build upon, right? And lastly, what thought was this? Oh, is this a thought or a quote? This is the thought. Oh, one of the things that stops us, I always talk about failure, right? What's some of the things that lends itself to us not just maximizing our potential? So one of the things that stopped us from acting on idea, actively pursuing dreams, is the fear that our friends and family won't support us, what they think, and I always say, friends and family, love them to death, love them with the love of the Lord, and Lord knows I do, but they know you as the chapter that they know you. And like for me, people may still remember me as the college dropout, you know what I'm saying, or the army dude, but they can possibly fathom, I forgot to hit record, y'all. I'm slipping. They can possibly fathom, hold on. Shantay Carter. Idiot. All right. Recording started. My bad, y'all. But that's for me. I'm slipping. Oh, I almost want to go back and do those 3 minutes over. We're not gonna do that. But yeah, so I was saying that your friends and family know you in the certain light, in the certain title, however, whatever situation, scenario, and they can't understand that you may be trying to do this different thing that's so not like you to them. But remember, your vision, you're the only one that can see it and the first one to believe it. So I'm going to encourage you, don't wait for anybody to jump on board. Just do what you do. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Start where you at, start with what you have, and just go full throttle. So those are my thoughts for today. 2 quotes. Oh, actually, that's funny. It's one of the quotes. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Look at life working. I'll give you a new one. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. That's a Jim Rohn one. I like that one. And this is one of my favorite ones. I just give a keynote, a little graduation talk. Not a little, it was big. Shouts out to Brooklyn Law and Tech graduation talk. And I shared this with them. Mastery sits quietly atop a mountain of mistakes. Oftentimes, a lot of people see you where you at and they think you got there overnight. But man, the mistakes you've made. And today, you know, we're going to get into with our guests some of the mistakes she may have encountered on her journey, and we're going to talk that talk. One thing for you to think about: how are you investing in your own growth right now? How are you investing in your own growth right now? I want you to stew on that. And I'm going to get ready to bring out our teammate for the evening, guest extraordinaire. Now that the table's set, it's time to bring out our guest. So I hope this introduction does her justice. All right, coming to the stage, tonight's guest on the Bunker Live. We are honored to have a powerhouse in healthcare advocacy and empowerment, known as the Nurse Philanthropist. Shantay is a TEDx speaker, best-selling author, mentor, and passionate nurse advocate. She's the founder of Women of Integrity, Inc., Men of Integrity, Inc., and co-founder of Nurses of Integrity. Hello, all organizations dedicated to uplifting communities through service, education, and leadership. With over 2 decades in nursing, Shantay's mission extends beyond the bedside. She uses her voice to inspire purpose, equity, and resilience, especially in underserved communities. Her book, Destined for Greatness, has become a blueprint for those striving to rise above their circumstances and live boldly in their calling. Whether she's mentoring the next generation of healthcare professionals or empowering women, men to walk in integrity, Shantay Carter lives her purpose out loud. Good people that's tapped in, please welcome to the show, Miss Shantay Carter. What up, Shantay?
Hey, thank you for having me, Mr. Motivation.
It's dope, man. Super. We're gonna dive right in. So Tay, listen, I call it Tay, y'all. We go back, way back. We're not gonna talk years though. We're gonna go back, no numbers. So Tay, tell the people, because what's cool about what I'm doing, you know, remember, your network is your net worth, and I wanted to, you know, one, connect with my people, hear what y'all doing, and then just use my platform to leverage and just get y'all support and all the things. But I get to catch up with you too. But tell the people backstory, how we know each other, how are we connected?
So Sean and I went to college together, the infamous Binghamton University. We called it Bing, right?
Bing.
And that's how we crossed paths and we met. And Sean and I have been like brother and sister. We've kept in touch, very good friends, grown to, see him evolve and become the man that he is today, the husband that he is, the father that he is, the community advocate, and just seeing all the amazing things that he's done as he's grown up and, as we've both grown up and matured over time. So super proud of him, but we definitely first connected in Bing. And it's been great to know you, kid.
Oh, no doubt. Bing was it. Let me tell you, I feel like Jason Bourne when I go back to Bing. That's where it all started, But listen, let's dive in. So actually, no, before I get in there, what are you working on now? What you promoting? What you building?
I am promoting right now my newest book, Love, Lift, Lead. It became an Amazon bestseller. And this book is an empowerment guide for youth and young adults. So we give you reflections in there. We talk about building your confidence. We give examples. I give examples of things that I went through. And then we have a section where you can write in your notes and just have a moment to reflect, especially because our youth is definitely at times, especially since the pandemic, they're going through some things. And not just the youth, it could be young adults, but they need something to help them kind of guide them back to their purpose, right? Or their why. And with this book, I think it does that, right? Because we need to love on each other. We need to reach back and lift up the one behind us, and we need to lead with integrity. So we need to make sure that we are doing that and giving back to our community and helping those behind us. And especially since the pandemic, because everyone has experienced something during the pandemic, some type of loss, whether it's a family, a job, something. Everybody has gone through something, and a pandemic has affected everyone in some way, shape, or form. And so we really need to take the time to give people grace, because we never know what people are going through, right? And then we need to be able to, empower and lift each other up. So definitely pushing the Love, Lift, Lead movement, and just being able to empower and educate my community.
I love that. I love that. So, well, what made you write the book? What you draw inspiration from?
So, sometimes I'll be honest, I get into a little funk where I feel like I have all these things to say and I want to get them off my chest. I will say in 2021, I lost my dad. We had the pandemic. I lost my dad. I lost my grandmother in 2020, and I lost my little brother in 2022. So, back to back,
Yeah.
3 years kind of, put me in a little depression, a little funk.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like I need to do something to get me out of that. And I knew from experience when I wrote my first book that kind of helped me and talk about that journey. It really helped me to get out there and kind of get out of my funk. So this book, I thought about it, just thinking about what was my impact, what my legacy I wanted it to be moving forward. And so I wrote this book because I kind of felt stagnant. I'll be honest, I was watching the Bob Marley movie, One Love, and I heard Shansia's version of No Woman, No Cry. And I was in movies with that with my mom, and it brought me to tears. And I called my best friend, shout out to Ayana Ambrose, Mills Ambrose, a thanks to Mills, who's a book publisher who published my book. And I said to her, I feel like I'm in a rut and I need to get out of it. There's some things I want to get off my chest to be able to help other people, and I want to put it into a book. I said, but I feel like I have to do this. It's like just calling on my heart to do it. And she was like, all right. I said, I already got everything I want to say. It's already kind of formatted. We had it written down because I've been working on these from different things that I've been doing. And so I told her, we put it together and then we pushed it out.
Yo, shouts out to Miss Ambrose. She helped me publish my journal, Miss Motivation Journal, and a bestseller as well. So shouts out to her.
Yeah.
And we need her on the show. Tell her, text her, tell her she's up next. What up?
Yes.
So take question. I know there's many young girls who dream about becoming nurses, and but they're overwhelmed with like self-doubt, academic pressure, even fear of the unknown. What would you say to a young woman who's like second guessing whether she's enough to pursue that nursing path?
I think you should definitely evaluate what is your purpose, right? What is your why? Why do you want to become a nurse? I'm going to be straight and upfront with you guys. You can't go into nursing for the money. Yes, we make good money, but they will never pay you enough for what we have to do and all that we have to do and all we have to put up with. That's just a fact, right? So you have to go into it because you want to help people and for the love of the profession, right? So then, yes, you'll enjoy it. Yes, you'll make good money, but you got to also enjoy it. You can't go there just for the money and knowing that you don't really care about nursing because it's going to show in your work, right? Your work ethic, and then it's going to come across to your patients. And then your patients are going to be the one that's really suffering, right? So I would say definitely have to figure out your why. Why do you want to do it? What is your purpose? And then, self-doubt is a dream killer. If you know that you want to be a nurse, then you have to be intentional and strategic in the steps that you take to accomplish that goal. Right. When I first started, I didn't necessarily know I wanted to be a nurse. I thought my plan was to be a neurosurgeon. Right. My grandmother passed away, my dad's mom, from brain cancer. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be a neurosurgeon. I'm going to find a cure for that type of brain cancer. I can do surgeries so, other families don't have to go through what we went through. And then my guidance counselor was like, Shantay, you don't even like math. I go, you know what? You're right. I don't. I hate math. So he was like, so why would you put yourself through that? He's like, go to school, become a nurse. If you really want to become a doctor, you'll be able to pay your way. I said, okay. I did nursing. Never look back. The best decision ever. I love to help people. I love to give back. I love to pour into people so that they can get back to themselves. As we were saying in healthcare, their optimal level of functioning. We want to get them back to where they were pre-surgery or pre-admission into the hospital. That's the goal. We need to be patient-centered and care for them. So if you know that nursing is what you want to do, then I'm going to say research it, figure out why you're getting into this profession, and then make strategic and intentional moves to get that goal accomplished.
I like
and find
that.
a mentor. Mentor is very important.
A mentor. Now, which mentor you have? Like a lot of mentors, or like
I do have a couple. I have community mentors for the things I do in the community. I have nursing mentors. So yeah, I kind of have a mentor for different aspects of what I'm trying to achieve in life.
Okay, mentorship, y'all. Tap in mentorship.
Mentorship matters. And it makes a
So
difference.
I want to pivot into something I know that is big for you because you've maxed it out, and I love it. You've taken your nursing degree far beyond the walls of the hospital and found an organization. So, kind of like, what helped you kind of realize that like your nursing license was or could be a passport to purpose? You founded. Talk us through Women of Integrity. I think that was the first one, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So nursing has helped me, has opened the door for me to understand many cultures, through nursing and caring for different patients and learning about cultural differences and just seeing who could potentially be benefit from what I wanted to do. And nursing helped me with delegation skills, helped me how to deal with different people. So I knew that at that point when I created Women of Integrity, it was twofold. I was growing tired of nursing and I needed something else to do, right, to occupy my time. And then I would also had just gone through a bad breakup and I fell into a depression and a spiraling downward. And I was consumed with a lot of negative energy, very dark energy. And I knew that if I didn't get out of this dark energy and keep going down this rabbit hole, I don't know where I was going to end up, right? Because it was affecting me, my family, my friends, my job. Shout out again to my friends, Miss Ambrose, Miss Lockridge, and Miss Carr, my besties from growing up, who staged an intervention with my family to say, we think Shantay is depressed, and they called my mom and my dad, and we want you guys to talk to her. So they did that, and I'm just thinking, honestly, as a nurse, didn't really think I was depressed, just thought I was heartbroken, right? And sad. But then I realized when I really took a step back that I was secluding myself, coming home from work and just going to sleep, wasn't socializing, wasn't doing anything. And my mom, my dad talked to me, and my dad, may he rest in peace, one of the things he used to always say is, what is a small thing to a giant? He was like, men come and go. He's like, you're a giant. Why are you stressing this one dude? Like you know who you are, stand in that. He was like, you Shantay Carter, you my daughter, stand in that. And so, those things just kind of helped me, and with the love of my friends and support of my family, helped me to get out of that. And so I said, okay, in order to get out of that, I need to figure out a way to channel this energy. So that became, you know what? I always loved working with children, with the kids. I was an RA in college. So I said, let me take those skills and help young kids, right? Especially young girls. Shout out to my other bestie from college, Simone Gagneron, who founded a nonprofit for young boys. So when I came home from college, I was working with her boys nonprofit in Brooklyn. And I was like, we need something for the girls. Like I always knew I want to do something for the girls. So when this happened in my life where I fell into this depression, wanted to channel this energy into something positive, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a group for girls and giving back and empowering them. And then that was just me calling on my family and friends to support, which they did. And what started as an idea literally in my basement grew into this full-fledged nonprofit. Here we are standing. This November will be 15 years. Yeah.
Shut up.
22 years. We started in 2010. So 15 years. And we've grown a full-fledged organization, nonprofit, 501c3. We are known for our annual prom dress giveaway, where we give out free prom dresses to the community because we believe that every young girl deserves to go to their prom and they should not be hindered due to financial distress. So we believe that's a right to pass for young women. So we have our prom dress giveaway. We also do our Galentine's event, which is a fundraiser for the prom dress giveaway. We've done women in business brunches where we have entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, all positive, like-minded women coming together, kind of a meeting of the minds. And we would have panelists from different industries to talk to the women. We had annual community barbecues. We worked with local high schools, after-school mentoring program with young girls, just to empower them and educate them and broaden their horizons, right? And bring in people who could speak to them to teach them different things. So it wasn't just, you come from this place, so you have to be stuck in this town. It's bigger than that.
Yo, listen. So it's funny. I had a homegirl that was the one to do something with the prom joint. Shouts out to Melissa. And did she bring that idea to me? I think she did. But you kind of inspired me to really get behind her idea. And we called it the promenade. So we went to a school, and we had the school identify, I think, 4 dudes, 4 dudettes who, income was a thing, underprivileged. and we would raise funds and then put on like this event where we buy them a dress, all the things, and they come because we had food, and then we would do like our own and going to so-and-so college, and they come down, do the walk. It was super dope. And the parents be like, yo, there's no way I could have done anything like this for my child. Like, we appreciate it. And for me, it all started with learning about what you was doing with your prom dress giveaway and your org, and paired with my friend who had a similar vision and emerging world. So definitely want to give you some flowers for inspiring me from a distance.
Thank you. Yes, I do remember that, because back then we used to also do the prom makeover. So we used to pick a high school girl, and we became their glam squad, Women of Integrity. And we supplied her with the dress, hair, makeup, shoes, photography. We went to the house, we got her dressed. We had the photographer there take pictures of her with her family. And for a lot of these young girls, they may have been the first one in their family to even attend prom, right? And then we had the photographer there to create the memories. And then, we would give them an album of all the pictures that were taken. So definitely, I'm glad that was able to inspire you to,
And I've since moved, so I I probably need to bring that back. So I started my nonprofit probably 2 years ago now, Wake the Beast Inc. So I'm definitely on that journey. I won't go. It's not about me, and it's not about me. It's all about Shantay tonight. But so talk me through. I get Women of Integrity. I get Nurses of Integrity. I want to make sure people following. Y'all see Women of Integrity website right there, right? Is it still on?
Yes, that's Women of Integrity.
Okay, yep. So I want them to see. Go follow Nurses of Integrity, right, on IG. And while we talk about this, how'd you go from women's? I don't know if it was in order, but how'd you get to Men of Integrity?
So it's funny because so Men of Integrity came as a request from the community. A lot of people in the community asked us, so when are you going to do something for young men? So at the time I was like, we're not, because as a female organization, I did not want to do something that would be led by women for men, right? Because I felt like the men in the community should step up and do that, right? But people kept asking us, like, so what about, a suit giveaway for the boys, or what about this? So I said, okay. So I talked to my dad and my brother, and my cousin, who's like my brother, and I was like, all right, the community keeps asking me this. I can't be the face of this. So why don't we create the brother organization to Women of Integrity? We already got the blueprint from Women of Integrity. So all you guys got to do is pretty much the same thing, but just for the guys, tailor it to the men. So my dad and my cousin were the founders, along with myself, the co-founders. And that's how we created Men of Integrity. I will tell you, when that came about, people did try to give me backlash, men in the community, because they said, you're a female. What do you know about mentoring young men or teaching young men anything? And I would say, we can, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I can't teach a young man something, right? I can definitely empower him and educate him in different walks of life, right? But do I think that as a female, I can raise a man to be a man? Absolutely not. I'm gonna be honest. I can't. But I can still mentor him, maybe in academics or other things. But that's why I have brought my dad and my cousin and other men that I knew in the community to be a part of it, to be able to kind of take that lead. So I can kind of play the background. Because realistically, if young men are gonna always feel more comfortable with other men, more times, oftentimes, and so that they can relate, right? I don't know what it is to have to shave and stand up to pee. I'm not,
listen, it's funny because even so my wife, her nonprofit, Patients Are Waiting, definitely sending to there. She was doing a lot of community work, and I think we did something. They led like a father's diner with dads, right?
Oh yes,
but
I remember.
Her org powered it. And I remember she was getting some pushback too, like, females trying to start things that should be led by men. But, at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? the female leader decided this thing was, in your case, the community did, and you have a platform, so you decided to create it. Like, fellas, let's go. You know what I mean? So I definitely love that you took that initiative. I know I was tapped in a little bit a while ago. Now I see we got the website up. I think things are definitely moving in another direction. So we'll love to just reconnect. I'm still about 3 hours away from you though, but we can still make anything work.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what quick pivot. Everybody, shouts out. Go tap into the website. Men of Integrity is a nonprofit, so definitely see what the programming they got. How you can support. Support don't always mean money. You can like, share,
Exactly.
talk about it, learn about it. But definitely tap in. I'm gonna put your link tree, because her link tree got it all. I'm just highlighting some of the things, but her link tree, you'll be able to find her books and everything. Shouts out to One Stream, man. I like this platform.
This is nice. I like it.
Before we get into our signature 5 questions, I had two things I wanted to tap in with.
Sure.
One was one of the books that I think you said was a favorite to help change your life, that I share that with you. Tell me about your thinking about the 4 agreements.
Oh, the 4 agreements. I absolutely love that book. Because that came in a time during the period when I was coming out of that depression, that I learned about that book when I started Women of Integrity. So that was one of the book I had. Shout out to my sorority sister and Coriel. Coriel was the founder of the Single Wives Club back then, based out of Atlanta. And it was a women's empowerment group. And this was one of the books that she recommended. She has since pivoted from that and does other things. She has like a podcast out in Atlanta, does other things. So shout out to her. But this was one of the books that we had to read. And so reading that book just really helped me to change my mindset. You want to be impeccable with your word. Don't take things personal. That really helped me to change my mindset and to understand to be accountable for what I had to be accountable for, then also understand the part that other people played in situations, right? And not always, I wasn't going to always be the victim, or I'm not going to always be self-blame. I'm not going to do that. I have to stand in and own what I knew I played a part in, and then hold other people accountable for what they played a part in. So the 4 Agreements is a book that I actually have the 4 agreements on my mirror. It's like mantras. I'm definitely I'm that type of person who posts it. Yep, there it is, by Miguel Ruiz. So yes, it's a very important book in helping you change your mindset to get out of negative thinking into more mindfulness, intentional mindset.
Let me tell you, it's a quick story. So one of my homegirls this years ago, she told me about this book. She said, "Yo, pick up the 4 agreements." I'm like, whatever. I ain't pick it up, right? So next time I see her, I'm talking crazy about something. She said, "Oh, you ain't read the book yet." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Time goes on. I still ain't read the book. I said something else crazy. She said, "Murph, you need to get the book." So I finally sit down and read the book. Girl, listen. What Shantay saying, it's game changing. Like the whole take nothing personally. Like it's such an elevated mind thinking where you walk different. You know what I'm saying? Like so and so's mad about this. Well, they're not mad at me. They're projecting something. That's their thing.
Exactly.
Like oh my good, heavy book, heavy. Shouts out to the author, 4 Agreements. Go pick that up. I don't get nothing from sharing this with y'all. But remember, anything you want in life, you gotta give. So if I want people to get my book, I gotta give recommendations for other people's book. Okay, so I want you to remember that. And another book, The Go Giver. Swear by it. The Go Giver. Lead with giving. Lead with giving. All right, let me see. So I had
you have to be a blessing in order to get a blessing.
Right. Facts. So Tay, another thing you inspire me. So I've been we had 30, we good. So I had an opportunity to do this, to be on this stage, and I was on my way out of my role. So I was kind of in like senioritis mode. I'm like, I ain't doing all that. I was supposed to be at TEDx in Boston. This many moons ago. And I don't live with regrets, but in hindsight, I just didn't understand how big of a stage that was. And I wasn't on my Mr. Motivation journey yet, where that was like, would have been clutch to have under the belt. So somebody, I don't know if you told me, but somebody told me you had a TEDx talk, and I couldn't get to that thing fast enough to hear you get that talk. So it's on my bucket list. But how was that experience? How'd you get into that?
So, your network is your net worth, and networking is everything. So, I'm a Binghamton alum. I'm a proud Binghamton alum of the Decker School of Nursing. And I don't just walk the walk, talk the talk, I walk the walk. So I pour back into Binghamton. I pour back into Decker. I make my donations. I go and volunteer during homecoming for their alumni brunch. I mentor, if I can, nursing students in their Mary E. Mahoney group. So I pour into our future nurses. I go to the alumni events that they hold in the city every year in January and just network. Made a great connection with the alumni director. This opportunity to do the TEDx came from Binghamton. This was own TEDx talk. And I was recommended by the graduate advisor, like alumni director, one of the alumni directors. She recommended me. They reached out to me. And, it came at a odd time because my brother was, he recently passed away. Well, actually, keep it 100%. He was murdered while he was incarcerated. He was murdered. And so that happened in November of 2022. And this call came to me in like January of 23. So I kind of waited and was like, I'm not sure if I can do this, right? Dealing with all those deaths that just happened in my family and with my brothers being so close. It was very, I was very overwhelmed emotionally and very stressed. Honestly, to the point that trying to figure out whether I should do this, ended up in the hospital, so stressed out, where like I had started having facial pain, had to be on steroids, everything just from like super anxiety. And this is when they say stress can kill. It is so true. That's how I just felt, like my body was shutting down. And then I got out of the hospitals, I had to talk to my family, talk to my friends. And then somebody said to me, what do you have to lose, Shantay? What do you have to lose if you do the TEDx talk? And I was like, nothing. And then they go, what do you have to gain? And I was like, well, that'll be me being strategic and intentional about visibility to help build my brand as far as women of integrity, nurses of integrity, men of integrity. My platform is Shantay, the Nurse Philanthropist. So they were like, so why wouldn't you do it? And I was like, it was fear, right? So anxiety, fear was going to make me say no. And then after hearing that, I was like, you know what? They're right. So I sat down and I wrote about, and they were very supportive. They said, okay, this is some things you could talk about. I wrote it out. They were like, pivot, right? Pivot a little bit, because they felt, I'll be honest, they thought it was a little too dark talking about the pandemic, right? So I was like, okay. They were like, come a little lighter, because this is a little bit too, I was like, okay. So I had to kind of switch it up and kind of talk about a little bit about pandemic, but more about the founding and the why of Women of Integrity. And that's where, when I did the talk, I talked about, it's funny when you said your C's that you mentioned in the beginning, that's what my TED Talk was about. My 5 C's, right? Nurse Carter's might have been 4 C's. I just added another one now. So, my 5 C's of collaboration. Collaboration is key. Connecting with people, right? Getting out there and actually connecting with people and vibing with them. Confidence. You have to have self-confidence. It has to start with you first and within you. Career development. You have to level up career-wise. So that means getting a certification, taking an extra class. For me, it was getting my license in about 4 other states to level up, right? So I can practice if I want to go to these places. I would already have my nursing license. And then making sure that you are creating opportunities, whether for yourself or someone else behind you. Look, whatever you're doing, you're going to be strategic and intentional, but then figure out how can you create an opportunity for yourself and someone else. So those were my 5 C's. That's kind of how I move off of that, and everything that I do now moving forward is how can I collaborate with someone, because I can't do all. And so why not collaborate with someone else, right? And then, connecting with people, same as networking, having that confidence, right? Because when you go somewhere, you have to show up and you have to show out, right? Because if you don't, you're going in, you're playing small, no one's going to pay you attention. No one's going to remember you. This is not the time to play small, especially if you want to start a business or accomplish a goal. You have to be memorable when you walk into these rooms, and you have to be intentional and strategic about who you're there to meet. You know, career development, you got to be intentional about leveling up, whether it's going back to school, getting a certification, whatever that may be, do it. Whatever can be a transferable skill, add it. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, creating the opportunities. Because you know, I always try to look for what is the next opportunity, or what opportunity come out of what I'm doing right now, right? So, like for example, this podcast with you, I want to support you. My brother has this podcast, but I also know this is a great opportunity to spread the word about what I'm doing, right? So about women of integrity, nurses of integrity, men of integrity, about, you know, love, lift, lead, right? So this is an opportunity for more people to get to know about who I am and I'm doing, to eventually maybe potentially give me more speaking opportunities, more keynotes, anything in line with my purpose and mission of empowerment and educating our young women and our youth.
I love it. I love it. No, appreciate it. Thanks for sharing. Well, of the my 5 signature questions, I think we tapped on 2 already, so we only got 3. So what moment, breakthrough or breakdown that shaped your past? I feel like you might have touched on that with like the losses, right?
Yeah, and why I started
Yeah,
Women of Integrity.
how you start. Yeah, so we touched on that already. All right, here we go. When did you fall in love with failure, and what did it teach you?
If I'm be very honest with you,
Tell me,
I've
please.
never fell in love with failure. For me, I'm gonna be honest. One of my mantras is failure is not an option. Failure is not an option for me, right? So if I have a setback, I have to figure out how I'm gonna set up myself for the comeback, right? And so it may not necessarily, for me, I may not look at it as a failure. It may be a lesson learned, right?
Right.
What can I have done better? I'll reevaluate the steps that I took to get, you know, why did I get that outcome and not the outcome maybe that I wanted. But failure, I don't accept failure. That's just for me personally. I don't.
Yeah.
Failure is not an option for me. I don't have the luxury to fail. I'm a woman of color. I'm a Black woman in healthcare. I don't have the luxury to fail. I have to work twice as hard as my counterparts to let people know that I'm as good or even better. And 9 out of 10, I'm always better. So
all day.
you know what I mean? So I don't have that luxury to fail, because that's what's expected of me as a woman of color, is to fail. So I don't have that luxury. So failure is not an option for me. I may have to make a go around or take the zigzag way to get to where I gotta go. It may not be a straight path, right? But failure is not an option for me. It just makes a lesson learned. I wouldn't even look at it at the mindset where I'm now. I'm not looking at it as I failed. It's just made me to rewire, reset, right? Figure out what do I need for the comeback.
Track. You heard it there, ladies and gents. Failure is not an option for Miss Shantay Carter. I know we talked about, I brought up what is it? The 4 Agreements, but if there's a book that you would recommend to our audience and why, or if it was the 4 Agreements, then that's fine too.
Honestly, 4 Agreements would be one of them.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm gonna say my 2 books, Destined for Greatness, right? Because Destined for Greatness was like an anthology compilation of myself and 9 other nurses, where we talked a bit about our nursing journeys, but more about how we started our businesses. So in that book, everyone were for-profit businesses. I was probably the only nonprofit, and we talked about our pitfalls and how do we overcome the obstacles. We gave like our 10 best business strategy tips. So that book was definitely for like that new entrepreneur, someone who was entrepreneur, or just even if you were not in healthcare and you were starting a new business, you could learn from that. So I would definitely say that book, Destined for Greatness. I believe everyone is destined for greatness. You just have to be strategic and intentional of what you're doing, right? And then Love, Lift, Lead came out of, post-pandemic and seeing the need to really pour back into one another, especially our youth, with this stay in place order. They've lost socialization skills, interpersonal skills. They don't always necessarily know how to communicate. And, that affected their confidence. You see bullying at an all-time high, right? We see, unfortunately, kids are taking their lives due to bullying or how they feel, they're not having enough self-feeling, they're worthy, self-worth, self-confidence, self-love. So this book is Love Lift Lead, was to kind of be like a guided tutorial for that, to kind of help them find that, help them find their way and find their why and their passion.
Hey, take questions. So I mean, I do some, well, not in an unofficial capacity. So wifey, she does. They train doulas, and the doula, essentially you're a sole proprietor, business owner. So do you think that the content and Destined for Greatness aligns perfectly with what they're doing as they're going into entrepreneurship?
I think for someone who's probably new into it, it could definitely be beneficial.
Okay.
I think doulas are definitely something that is needed in the healthcare space, especially in the maternal, especially Black maternal health. We have so many mothers that are dying, Black women that are dying when they're giving birth, and their babies are, they're losing their lives. So a doula is something that's definitely, I think, is an added bonus to have on your birth team, part of your birth plan. So shout out to all the doulas out there, because they definitely are making a difference and are leaving a lasting impact.
Yeah, shouts out to the doulas. No, appreciate that. Appreciate it. Listen, this has been good. I hope everybody that's tapping in, whether it's live now or listening and watching later, get some nuggets. I got a lot of nuggets. I got the five Carter C's, which I dropped in the chat. We got Destined for Greatness book. I have Love Lift Lead. What I don't have, I need an autograph. I need an autograph on this thing. You going to
Absolutely.
homecoming this year?
I'll definitely try, depending on when it is.
Yeah, I haven't looked either. I haven't been in a few. I'm something like alum, y'all.
That's right. That's right.
It goes home, man. Let me tell you. It's funny. I gotta tap in with Karima. She's the director of EOP. Shouts out to Karima.
Shout out to Karima.
I need to tap in. I want to start. I actually wanted to start some kind of scholarship joint. You know what I'm saying? I haven't figured out exactly what it is, and I don't really care to go through all the red tape stuff, but I need to figure out the direct path to just giving funds to scholars going through EOP, because EOP for me, like, I don't get into Binghamton without EOP. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the equal opportunity program that was really a bridge for scholars like myself and Tay, all of us coming from low income communities and getting into a dope school like Binghamton. So shouts out to EOP. But this is exciting. Tay, it's been really dope, man. I remember in Tay, and my girls, TV, they kind of held me down because I never had no food. I was always hurting. They be cooking. I'm coming over. Shouts out to Brina.
I swear, that is so true.
Listen, I remember. I never forget. It's just been beautiful to see us all just mature and come into our own.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want keep shining, Tay, keep showing up.
Thank you.
Let me see. Any final words you want to share with all this last promo pitch?
For the healthcare professionals, especially our future nurses or current nurses, I'll be remiss to say if I'm not the newly elected president of the Kappa Eta chapter of Chi Eta Phi Nursing Sorority. Kappa Eta chapter is the Long Island chapter, and I'm the president of that chapter. So Chi Eta Phi is a professional nursing organization founded back on October 16th, 1932. And we were founded because originally nurses of color were not allowed in the ANA, American Nurses Association. So we decided, with our visionary Aileen Carrington Ewell, decided to start Chi Eta Phi sorority, which was originally for Black nurses. But now, as time has evolved, we are open to all races and ethnicities. We are open to male and female nurses. So I encourage you, if you do not know about Chi Eta Phi, to please look into it, especially if you're a nursing student or you're a registered nurse. Like I said, it is open to male and female nurses and of all ages and ethnicities and races. And we are here to serve. So we're a professional nursing organization, but we do give back and we service our community through whether it's blood pressure screening, health events, partnering with our national partners on programs like the Alzheimer's Foundation, and just really pouring into our community. And so that, especially in the underserved, they can see people that look like them that are caring back, that care about them, and then are pouring into them. So definitely, I would say please research and learn about Kaya Defy. Also, all the nursing organizations that I'm a part of has definitely helped me, especially during the pandemic, to get through some of the things. And some of you may know or may not know, I lost my job during the pandemic. Kind of hated nursing for a while. Was a little bitter, and I had to come out of that. And all the organizations that I am a part of really supported me and believed in me. So shout out to ANA New York, shout out to Greater New York City Black Nurses Association, and shout out to, once again, Kappa Eta chapter of Chi Phi, who helped fall back in love with nursing. So service is what I'm about. I believe that you have to, if you're in a position to give back, that you should. That's one of the greatest rewards. So I've been about service since Women of Integrity. I'm also a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so, we're all about that service, and we reign supreme in service. So service is what I do and what I am. And I just encourage people to give back to their communities if you can, right? It can't just be you going to work and coming home and that's it. Or you're coming, yes, your husband, your kids, your family is important, but you need to find something else to also divide your time. And if you're in a position to give back, you should give back.
I love it, love it, love it. Hey, Tay, real random. So I know you the TEDx speaker, author extraordinaire, the nurse philanthropist. What's something that the people don't know about Tay that you ain't gonna really find maybe on your digital footprint? I know it's something. What you like to do? What you like to do? What's a hobby? Something we don't know.
I like working out. I like to travel. I like spending time with my family and friends. If you know that about me, if you really know me, you'll know that. Right now, I have a beautiful new great niece. I'm a great aunt. She is 16 months old, and she keeps me busy. A little baby there, Nalani. I love her.
Wait, how your mom's?
Oh, my good. She's doing good. She's
That's
recovering
my
from
girl.
surgery. Yep, she had surgery on her shoulder, and thank you for asking. So she's doing good. She's doing good.
Good.
Yes. And let me see what I love Jamaica. I'm a Jamaican. So you didn't know, now you know.
Caribbean myself.
That's right, baby. We run things.
Yes. Yo, this has been dope. Now I appreciate you, Tay. Hey, good people, tap in. Shantay Carter, the nurse philanthropist. That's a wrap, man. Listen, if this hits your heart, share it. Reflect on today's 3, 2, 1. Your action item. Take one bold step forward. Follow me, Mr. Motivation, everywhere. MISTER Motivation. The O's have zeros for zero excuses. Huh?
You know about that?
Mr. Motivation Music. Tap in. I got a new song coming out actually called Friends. I'm dropping it on August 1st because August 3rd is National Friendship Day. So, and Tay, when you hear it, you'll get some bingo references in there. And I'll tell you, I'll share this with y'all because I don't know. My friends have pissed me off just in general. I was just like over the people. But I was like, nah, it gotta be positive. And I said, you know what? It might have been a person or two, but I said, let me just really give my friends their flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get here without my friends over the course of time and years and whatnot. And I really had fun with this one. It's only me, no features. Shouts out to Danny Boy, he the producer. Keith Jones, who believed in me when I believed in me. And it was just fun track. So I can't wait to put it out. So tap into Friends. It's coming out soon. I just put it up on the DSP. Grab your copy of Unbreakable Valor. That's my book.
Yes.
Unbreakable Valor. Triumph through the soul of resilience.
Yes.
Join the Breakthrough Bunker, our free community, and subscribe to the Breakthrough Bunker newsletter for your weekly dose of insight and inspiration and real tools to grow and go forward. Always know that your breakthrough starts with you. And as the saying goes, nothing changes if nothing changes. Do remember, good people, it's all about you. Tay, get it? We here.
Thank you.
No doubt. Check this out.
put it on my
hood grown, NY, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. I done came from the lowest lows, still walk with my head high. All my life, I've been through it. Made it out and I'm getting to it. Can't tell me I didn't do it. No passing L's, we skipping clubs. No taking L's, we getting dubs.
put it on my
hood grown, NY, Brownsville, Bed-Stuy. I done came from the lowest lows, still walk with my head high. All my life, I've been through it. Made it out and I'm